What up? You got Mr. Smith, point five of Mr. and Mrs. Smith, and this video is about Shiba. You got to understand as it relates to cryptocurrency, of course, it's volatile, but volatility also equals the ability to earn more money. Now, if you want to understand how to get access to more cash flow so you can invest more into crypto, because what happens is a lot of times people are like, I need more money to be able to invest. I want to be able to buy more. I want to be able to buy different ones and try different ones, because everybody wants to figure out a way to build wealth. And crypto has opened up a door to create higher percentage rates of return that you typically won't get. So now's the prime opportunity. So I definitely understand it. Now, that said, if you want to know how to have more cash flow, and the very thing that we use to create extra cash flow, I highly recommend you click the available link below where it says how to create more cash flow so you can invest more into crypto. It may say something along those lines, but long story short, it's the Smith strategy in order to get you more cash flow. It's 5 different ways to create more cash flow. Once you have more cash flow, now you can have more money towards other things, and one of those things can be crypto. I highly recommend you check it out. If the link acts funny, I promise you it's a safe link, so make sure that you get access to it, because the link is safe, and then that way you can see if it's a good fit for you on how you can have more cash flow so you can buy more crypto. More cash flow, more crypto. It's a win-win scenario. That being said, let's talk about Shiba Inu and the things that may be moving it to where it may also have an increase. Hopefully you're already in, but if you're not in, make sure you pay attention to when you buy into it. You don't want to buy it at the all-time high. You want to see where you can catch it at a dip, see if it has a bit of a pullback. You want to do those things so that way you can maximize your profit potential and not be holding on to it for longer than necessary. And you also want to have an exit strategy as well. And if that's something you want more details on, then, I can consider doing those videos. But this is assuming that you have an understanding or thought process behind the Shiba token. So let's dive straight in. So right here, I'm on the CoinMarketCap website, and for the day, you can see that it's a bit down. So it's been going down for the day, but that's crypto. That's volatility that is inevitable to take place. So it's down a bit today, but you always got to understand that this is on the day. So when you're looking at it from an on-the-day perspective, what you also must understand is that most of the time you just want to zoom out a little bit and see, okay, this is what it's been doing today. Over the last 24 hours, let's see what it's done over the week. Over the week, it's still up in the green. And sometimes, depending on how far you're zooming out, where you see red, those are buying opportunities. Sometimes you don't want to just be buying just because it's showing in the red, because you might be eating away at some of your profit depending on when you originally bought it. However, sometimes they can be buying opportunities, but the best way to know is by zooming all the way out, because if you zoom a month out, you can still see it's way up here. So we haven't really had any true pullback in order to determine whether or not we should buy a whole lot more. But just depending on your scenario, consider it and don't buy at an all-time high. Find out some drop points, because right now, just based on the month, this is seeming to be a good support area, meaning that this right now could be a potential buying opportunity. 4 zeros and a 6. So right now, at the time of this recording, could be a decent buying opportunity, especially if you haven't already got access to some Shiba. But this is not financial advice. This is nothing you should take as legal advice or anything like that. I gotta say those disclaimers and everything else that people say. But just understand what game you're playing, because it can grow your money if it plays out accordingly. Now, I'm going to give you some things that may move Shiba in the direction of multiplying your money, but figure out when you want to take some Shiba profits. Like, say it multiplies by 200%. If that is your goal, make sure you figure out how many profits or how much of the profits you want to take off the table. I wouldn't recommend getting all of the profits out, like liquidating all of your shares all together, unless, you hit it big and then you're like, look, I'm going to take this and I'm going to do some smart things all over the place. But you want to keep a bit of some position, due to the fact that you never know what this thing is going to do in 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 5 years. You just never know. So I wouldn't want you to lose all of your position. Figure out a way that you can take some profits based on what you want to do, and then from there, you determine how you want to go about it. Now, here's some things that are going to keep you in the loop of knowing why Shib is possibly growing, and the kickback or the pushback that it's receiving, and how that shows the power in the Shib army. And this is what I mean. So this is the site that just says Shiba Inu is the 5th most called smart contract on Ethereum because it's built on the Ethereum blockchain. So as all of this influx is coming in, it's also benefiting the Ethereum blockchain because it is showing use case. It's showing that people are wanting it and demanding it. And since it's on the Ethereum blockchain, the Ethereum coin itself has been hitting some all-time highs. Partially, a strong portion of it has been because of the booming popularity on the Shiba network. And it's the 7th largest gas burner. So basically when gas is, or, coin is burnt, it minimizes the amount of availability in that coin, which increases the value of that coin because it's less available. So that's just something to make note of. But Shib is definitely growing in appeal, and these are just some reasons of why it's growing and how you could possibly position yourself to benefit from the growth of Shib if you have not already. In addition to that, and I'm going to just kind of briefly go over some of these. You're welcome to check out some of these articles at Thorough for yourself. This is Crypto Potato, so it talks about, Shib being the 5th most called smart contract. So you can check that out and just giving credit where credit is due. And Yahoo Finance is even covering Shib because we're shifting. The world of crypto is a real thing. It's here to stay. So do not get caught up in, I don't want to do it because this person said this. Listen, get in where you fit in because these are some possible rates of return that you can experience for yourself that can position you to compressed time frames. It would have took 30 years to get wealthy and have an early retirement game plan because if you look at the rule of 72, they're still looking at it from an angle of 10% being a high rate of return, when in all actuality, that's penny in comparison to what accredited investors have been able to get over the course of years. This positions you to be like an accredited investor. An accredited investor typically has to make like $250,000, have $1 million in net worth, and they can get in on the front end of stocks before they even hit mainstream, before they even IPO. So that being said, now you're in a position to buy before they even know about it. They're still scared of it in certain areas, but you're in a position to get access to it. Now, they're coming all over here and benefiting from it as well, but do not shy away from crypto as it relates to you compressing time and hitting your retirement goals or just financial freedom goals sooner than later. Another reason why you want to grab or get access to the strategy, the Smith strategy, basically a way to increase cash flow, 5 different ways that you can use to do other things, and one of those things should and could be buy more crypto. Now, this is what Yahoo Finance said, what the Shiba Inu led meme coin craze says about the crypto oversight. And they're kind of saying some things about regulations. Beware the regulator coming. They're trying to regulate it because they see a lot of people are winning. I know they tied to and connected to some of the coins stripping people of their money because it was a coin centered around the Squid Game that had a high rate of return, but it was a rug pull because the creators of it took it all the way down to zero. So a lot of people lost money. They they made out on probably a couple $1 million just based on them riding the hype of the Squid Game Netflix series, and they turned it to a coin. A lot of people rushed over there, put their money in it, and it didn't have any true use case, and they got their money and they got out. So some regulations that may be coming to look out for people in that area. However, some of those regulations will limit or minimize the ability for us or people to actually make the profits that we're able to make right now. So that being said, when you're choosing a crypto, figure out a way to do your due diligence. I will do a video based on an outline of things that you could and should consider. However, Shib is actually successful beyond what they may say. So if you look into this, there's some things that, are questionable, and people are always knocking meme coins and saying certain things. And I love it when people have to eat their own itch in a sense of you were demonizing or looking down on a particular area, a particular way of doing things, but all of a sudden the game has changed. I love that because I've always been the type of person who didn't do what was by the book, so to speak. I had braids in high school and people were thinking that, that represented thug or hood. Not that I didn't come from that. However, I was very intelligent. I was outdoing some of my counterparts, even though they may have come from a 2-parent household. So anytime somebody can break the mold or go against the grain and be successful, I love it. When I see people who are millionaires and billionaires and they don't have to wear a suit and tie, they're dressing how they want to dress. They're wearing warm-up suits and T-shirts. I love that because they went against the grain and got out of the status quo. Same for the meme coins. The group of people who started supporting Shib, the Shib army, really is what changed the game. And this is what you got to make note of. You got to understand that us as a people, us as a community, have the power. We always have. If enough people unify, you can push and make anything successful, period. So if you understand that, then you understand the power of the culture that's centered around certain crypto projects, one being Shib. So regardless of what they say out there, meme coin is this, you're going to hear people knocking slick this, but then when those rates of return get to kicking in, then all of a sudden they're going to act like they've been supporting it all along. So you got to understand the power that you possess and not just supporting something just because of the culture. Make sure some other things in place that helps. And Shib is increasing their use case scenarios, and a lot of other chains and the platforms are adopting them, which means it has a lot more longevity attached to it. Speaking of which, another thing that's going to be a pillar to crypto or the Shib token growing is the fact that Kraken said that they were going to list Shiba on the blockchain. Now, they said they were going to do it Tuesday. At the time of this recording, it's Wednesday. It's not on there now, to my knowledge, at the time of this recording. However, the push has already been made, and this Kraken is losing a lot of money by not having them on there because there's some fees and different things that they will be able to accumulate with the rush of people who would actually buy the Shib token. So once it does list, I could see Shib going up a bit more. I'm not here to do any price predictions. However, I can see it going up more. Also, there's a petition, or basically there's a lot of people who are pushing for it to be listed on Robinhood as well. If that takes place, Shib can take off. It's been said that when Robinhood finally listed Doge, it took off by like 800%. If that's the case, if it's a similar scenario, who knows what can happen. But the main thing is you want to be in position and understand the certain announcements, certain news, certain things that's the driving force of the growth of these tokens, so you can ride the wave and have an extra strategy in place, a take profit strategy in place. So when you hear everybody talking about it, then you know, okay, it might be reaching a high. Do I want to take some of the profits off the table or not and ride it out? Have diamond hands, as they say. But figure out what's going to work best for you. These are just some things I wanted to cover in order to position you to be thinking about this area the right way and understand the power you possess and the potential of growth that you can have if you decide to put some investment money towards this area. Make sure it's money you don't mind losing, because you can definitely lose money. You can lose all your money as it relates to investing, but you can also multiply your money more than what you could if you just kept it in your pocket, kept it in your bank, kept it in certain other areas. And that's why I want you to understand the importance of the Smith strategy, because the Smith strategy shows you how to increase your cash flow in 5 different ways. More cash flow equals more money that you're bringing in outside of your normal money, outside of your job, outside of your self-employment. You get more money coming in, and now that more money allows you to invest more into crypto. So I hope that makes sense. Hopefully you take advantage of the Smith strategy. We have a great special going on that you can get access to those 5 ways to increase cash flow, that you can put more back into crypto. And once you're in, I'll get a notification that says you're in, and then I'll send you your next step so you can maximize the opportunity that you have to create more cash flow to buy more crypto. That's all I got for this video. Talk to you soon. See you on the next one.